Okay. Hello, everyone. Greeting to all of you. Those who actually are listening right now, and those who will come and listen to this analysis. My name is Dr. Dalarjin. I'm actually going to talk to analyze issues in South Sudan. So I will be talking about three issues. Number one is going to be the update on the ongoing war in the state of Jonglei State in South Sudan. Number two, it will be the position of Soma, which is one of the party in South Sudan. Their position about the Tumane and the peace talk. Then the third one is going to be the impact of President Salva Kiir illness on his duty. What will happen actually on this? So these are the three things. Please share it so that our people can actually get it. First of all, let me update on the war, today war. What is going on in the Jonglei State? First of all, there are different kind of information out there, a lot of information that are shared on the social media, and there are claims, okay? Sometimes they can be true, and sometimes they cannot be true. So you need to analyze it. So what is going on now is that they are saying IO is taking all those towns that were actually taken by the government of South Sudan. Meaning we are talking of Wat, we are talking of UI, we are talking of Walgak, and we are talking of Pathai. So IO actually is saying that they are fighting since yesterday, heavy fighting in those states. They are trying to take it again, actually, from the government. And because of this fighting, a lot of people die. And they are saying that there was one post was shared. They say that Garang, I think Garang, what was it? Garang Ateng, which is a commander in the war, Garang Ateng, earlier, that he was killed in the war, and some people say no, it was his bodyguard. So that is another thing that's going on that's not confirmed but shared on social media. Okay, and then the government, they are also saying that they already killed a top general, and then they begin sharing some pictures, not confirmed. So these are the supporters. People who are doing this are the supporters. What I was doing, I was waiting for some official confirmation to show that really this is true or not true. Okay, but what I'm coming to analyze that is that those posts or those information you get out there are not confirmed. Okay, so if they tell you a top general is killed, it's not yet confirmed by the government or maybe the rebel side. So that's what they are trying to do. And then they say also even the taking of the town is not yet confirmed. So what is the reality here is that there is a fighting. The war is going on as we are talking right now. And the war is getting really very difficult because the government is saying that they will not stop the war until they actually disarm the White Army and the IO. Then in that way they carry the operation. The operation of the war there is called Way Koch mean that the operation of peace endowment. That's what they are fighting for. And they say until all are disarmed is when there will be a peace in the country. This is a government position. So they are doing disarmament. And then the IO is fighting and say that they cannot stop war until the vice president is released. So that's how the war in Jonglei look like. So nobody is going to stop it. It's going to be on and on. And then they're going to take the town. Each of them is claiming town. Government will say, okay, we do the tactical withdrawal. IO will say we do tactical withdrawal, and then they say this one we take the town, we do a tactical. That's what is going on now and today. Okay, so that is the information. The thing is, there is so much destruction that are going to happen. Many people have been displaced. They are talking about 280. Today it may jump to 300,000 civilians being displaced in the region. This is really very bad. These people, either in the bush or maybe tribal, they are trying to reach neighboring country, and these are civilian women and children. Really very bad. So the war is affecting. What it means is that war is affecting people, a lot of people that are not part of the war. Okay, and UN or any agencies right now cannot access that area because the area is at war. Everybody at war. So you cannot go there and access people, even if you want to help, unless you have to go through the section. You have to go through the military now. If you are on government side, you have to go through the government side. If you are rebel side, you go through the rebel side. So that's what is happening. Starvation, of course, is what we are seeing happening. So the situation, this situation, what you can ask as a citizen, or what you can help, is to actually to ask people to go to peace agreement, to money agreement, bilateral peace agreement, or any kind of agreement, so that people can talk. Because the war in Jonglei State is not going to help anything. It's not going to change the government, and people will suffer right there. So that is an issue about the war now. On the issue of the second issue is a Soma. I think most of you know Soma, which is the party of Thomas Cyril and Paul Malong. So their position about the new peace talk now, which is being proposed, is that they don't want peace talk. That's what they are saying, and they listed like a series of points. Okay, so I summarize this into three. Number one is that they are saying that we cannot go to the peace talk because we are not consulted. Okay, and we are not included, and then we cannot be part of that peace talk. And secondly, they are saying that we cannot go to peace talk because in force. It is a peace by the African region, by the IGAD region, by Western world. And then therefore we need something that is be South Sudanese to South Sudanese peace agreement. That is another thing that then they say that the root cause of the conflict is not addressed. We want to peace that address the root cause. Okay, and then the other thing is that they say that the issue, this peace talk is talking about election. We don't want election because there's no the election will produce more conflict. So that's how they are doing. If you go to analyze this on your own, you will find that it is just an excuse, and actually they don't understand the kind of the peace talk going on now. For you to really reject this peace talk, you're going to have big consequences. Actually, you cannot say that you're going to reject the peace talk when you actually you don't know what the peace talk entails. They're saying, okay, this peace is imposed by the people, by the region. Yes, this peace is enforced because most of the peace agreements were done before, they failed. South Sudanese to South Sudanese themselves cannot make peace by themselves. They've always been tried in 2017, 2018, they're all failing. So they cannot do nothing. And the people are suffering. Politicians are actually, they are enjoying and they are making a lot of money for politicians. Okay? And every time people die, people are displaced, they go back to Juba and they make agreement, they sign agreement, the paper, and they share power. So this is very unfortunate. That's why we don't need people to continue to reject peace talk. We just need peace talk that include everybody, White Army, party, any kind of party to go to the peace agreement. so that the peace agreement is not left to the politician alone. Then in that way, peace agreement will make sense. But if you say that it was enforced, yes, it was enforced because the region, they are tired of this. They are actually country like now we have a IGAD plus. IGAD plus mean that countries in East Africa plus other countries within the African country, they are going to be involved. And this time around, my argument is that they're going to use military intervention, not just peace talk. It's going to have military intervention. So that's what. So if Soma does not want this, that means Soma is going to be isolated in the region. What it means is that you isolate the region, you don't want peace, then they're going to fight you. They're going to fight your forces. So they can fight against the NAS, region can fight you against the NAS. And also they can disarm you. They will disarm your militia. And when your militia are disarmed, probably the leaders will be captured. Somebody like Thomas Shirul can be captured and hand over to the government of South Sudan. These are the things, okay? Because this peace talk is about the region. The region is backed up by the UN, the United Nations Security Council, and other UN body, UN countries. So they back up that kind of agreement, that talk, so that everybody can go there and present their case. If you reject it, and they know that you become obstacle and you can be isolated. So that's what Soma need to think about this actually. Cirilo need to really run and think twice about what is going on. They need to accept this talk, because the talk is good for our people, it's good even for them, okay? So that at least we can have a new talk, we can maybe address the security arrangement can be addressed. Why, if there's violation of Salva Kiir, we will see it. If it is a violation of the opposition, all this one is going to be talked in the agreement. So I think anyone to reject agreement will have bad consequences this time. So that's the briefing from the Cirilo. Now, the third point I was talking about is a condition of Salva Kiir. Okay, you have seen the condition of Salva Kiir is being shared on social media, and when he was in Addis Ababa. So a lot of problem we see that. We see he appear in public, he's not healthy. And that means he cannot walk, and he lost memory, cannot talk well, he cannot be able to read. And he urinate to himself. Okay? So all these appear in public. What does it mean? So what it means is that, actually what people don't know about that, when a whole person appear, lost memory, cannot walk, urinate to himself, what it means is that their brain is dead. They cannot think. Okay? So it means that they don't have, the brain is not working, but their heart is still working. That's what it means. Okay? So now, if you have this condition, what it means is that you're going to have a physical and a mental problem. Okay? That means you cannot function in the office, especially when you are a president. Okay? Because national office requires you to actually to do something in the office. Okay? You are a public, so you cannot function. So the main concern now, the problem is that most people on social media, they discuss it incorrectly. Okay? Probably because maybe they are limited in terms of knowledge. They discuss it as a tribal problem, or maybe as a personal problem, or maybe as a political problem. No, this is not about politics. Okay? We are talking about reality. What do you see? This is the head of a country. That's what we are talking about. So what we should be doing now, what people of South Sudan should be doing in order for them to help the nation, or maybe to have a concern about the nation, is that they need to come up with clear way of demanding things, what should be done in the country. And I have a couple of recommendations here for the people of South Sudan on the issue of Salva Kiir now in South Sudan. Okay? Number one, citizen of South Sudan, whether you are from tribe of small tribe, big tribe, middle tribe, or what, regardless of your tribe, you need to come out and demand that any health condition of Salva Kiir should be disclosed to the public. So what do you mean by that? What do I mean by that? What I mean is that we only seeing the symptom. We're only seeing that Salva Kiir cannot do this, but we don't know what is he suffering from. As a leader, if you are a leader, public want to know. This is not to come and laugh at you. No, it's not about laughing. It's about concern. Why will a public officer die and the citizen don't know about it? That means he's being assassinated. So there might be people maybe close to him, they want to kill him. So that's why it's important, if the president is sick, then the disease should be disclosed to the public, to the citizen. This is the number one thing that South Sudanese should be talking about, actually. So he's not talking about, oh, he's a tribe, oh, he's like this, oh, no. We need reality. We ask the government, can we have, what is the problem with Salva Kiir? Why is he suffering? Why he cannot talk? Why he cannot walk? Why he urinate to himself? What is the condition? Public need to know this, number one. Now, when you know this, maybe from a doctor, his doctor will do this. When you know this, then now, if the people of South Sudan think that is a disease is really very difficult to handle, to prevent him from going to the office, then what will happen is that South Sudanese in whole, all over, regarding your tribe, you can ask Salva Kiir to voluntarily to resign and go seek for treatment. So he can actually by himself appoint a vice president, 4 vice president or 5, pick one of them to be the president, and Salva can go to treatment temporarily. And when he's treated, he can come back to the office. So that's what people actually, South Sudanese should be asking that way, okay? And or if actually people of South Sudan the disease becomes serious, then they can ask that Salva Kiir resign permanently, okay? And he still appoint the vice president. He can appoint the vice president. If Salva don't want this, he doesn't want to maybe to resign, that mean, and we have a concern, it means that we can, it means that the people of South Sudan can think together with the leaders. That means you can interact. What it means is that if he doesn't want, you tell him to resign, go for treatment, he doesn't want it, then that means the people of South Sudan can urge the SPLM, Council of Ministers in the SPLM, to ask them for Salva to be pushed out of the SPLM, and the SPLM can bring a new person. Okay, that one might be a problem. That's why people are fearing. But if South Sudanese, that's the way you can do, because right now doing it by war is not going. It's going to hurt a lot of people. So doing it in Juba and has leaders to sit down and say, okay, Salva Kiir right now, okay, he has a lot of problem. He has this. We already know if they disclose it, then the SPLM will meet and pass a resolution to take him out, push him out of the chair. Then the SPLM can bring the next person. If that one work, and then that's fine. Then you can give him an incentive, because if he accept it, that means he has saved our country. Because a lot of people who are fighting because they think that they are fighting to remove Salva and Salva resign, the country can give him incentive actually for leaving power peacefully. Okay, so that is also another option that you can talk about, instead of talking about it like a provocative thing. You need to accept the reality that this guy cannot function in office. So the other thing that you can do, people can do in South Sudan, is to urge the parliament. So the parliament can actually, there is something in the law of constitutional law, transitional constitution 2011. So there is something there that is stated that if the president cannot function, this parliament, they can sit and then they can actually impeach him. And then when he's impeached, and then the parliament will name somebody either by president or anybody that is immediate. So in this way, this is what South Sudanese need to think in that line. Because otherwise, the way that the discussion I see in Clubhouse, in social media, they're not going to help you. Okay, so you need to talk about the reality, what is happening around Salva Kiir. But in my prediction, I think because Salva is a dictator, he actually is not going to accept for him to step down, and he may not maybe name a vice president, because we have a lot of vice presidents right now. We have almost 4 vice presidents. We don't know who is leading. Last week, he left Gerald Taban as the acting president, and then leaving the rest. We don't know whether now Taban become the senior or next to him. So we don't know who is going to name. If he names somebody who is young, like for example, like the secretary of the SPLM, that one will bring problem. It will be like Bulmel. But people like Waniga, Gerald Tabandengai, those are senior in the SPLM. So if he named them, the SPLM, most of the SPLM members will agree. So that's the problem, is that if he doesn't name them and he die in office, my prediction is that there could be a split within the SPLM. And actually, let me predict this. You can write it down. I think Salva will not actually resign. He will die in the office. Okay? So this is a prediction, because, the behavior of dictators I study is actually, they are very serious. Some of them I have, like Africa, most 5, 10 dictators die in office. Okay? So a lot of people who die in office, they are the people that behave like Salva. They don't want to resign. Okay? For example, in Zambia, I think, In Zambia, 2008, in Zambia, there is a dictator, actually it's called Levi Manawanza. He's a dictator like Salva Kiir. Okay? So he has issues, he has health issues, and people were talking about it, and he refused to resign. He died in office. Okay? So when they die in office, and then the country don't know, and he did not appoint somebody, so vice president cannot come automatic, especially when there is 2 vice presidents, or then there will be crisis later on in the country. That is a case in Zambia. In a place like where is this? Nigeria too. Algeria and Nigeria. We have a case in Algeria. I think it was 2000 and was it 2000 and what year was this? I forget about this year that what happened. This Abdelaziz, I think was Abdelaziz in Algeria. He died in office. The same thing. So now we have also in Nigeria a president died in office. So these are the example of Salva Kiir. My argument is that he will die in office. And that is the situation we are facing now in South Sudan. So the only thing can help us right now is not to fight a war outside the state. Because that war is going to villages, displace people, kill a lot of people. And then it is not removing Salva Kiir. So the best way is to go for agreement, to sign the peace agreement, sign Tumani agreement, sign the bilateral peace agreement, and work with the regional body and international community to actually to put the people of South Sudan together. Anybody who did not sign the peace can go there, and then we'll begin a new life. If Salva dies in office, the country is still going on. Okay? If he is still alive, then this peace agreement will probably remove him, not the war. So I wanted to Stop here, please. Share it, and tomorrow I will bring some new analysis. And thank you very much. You have a good day.